The fluorescent lights hum with that sterile, hospital-white frequency. Reporters press against the barriers like tide against a seawall. Cameras click 1,000 tiny hammers chiseling away at the carefully constructed statue. And then he speaks. "I don't feel like a machine," he says. "I feel tired." The room exhales, then inhales again, then holds its breath. He is 25 years old. He has just scored 7 goals in 4 World Cup matches. He has shattered Premier League records. He has won the treble. He has become the physical ideal of the modern striker: pace, power, precision, and presence. And yet, in that single unscripted sentence, the facade cracks. What have we suspected all these years? What have we seen flickering behind the ice blue eyes in the Viking bravado? We suspected that the machine was running on borrowed time. We suspected that the boy from Brying was carrying more than just a nation's hopes. We suspected that beneath the goals, the records, and the relentless celebrations, there was a man counting down the days until his body finally said, "No more." We were right. What happens when the most feared striker on earth admits he is afraid? This is the story of Erling Haaland at 25. Not the myth, the truth. Cold has a different texture on the western coast of Norway. It does not simply lower the temperature. It presses against the skin, seeps through layers of wool, and fills the lungs with a sharp, metallic clarity. The North Sea wind carries salt and solitude in equal measure. In Bryn, football was never played in the sunlight. It was played under floodlights that hummed with the same frequency as the fluorescent tubes in the local fish processing plant. The artificial turf, that cheap, rubber pellet-covered surface that absorbs impact but offers no forgiveness, was the cathedral. And the liturgy was repetition. Erling Haaland did not grow up dreaming of Champions League nights in Barcelona or Manchester. He grew up understanding that football could break you. His father, Alfie, had built a career in the Premier League, a sturdy, dependable midfielder who ran through walls and asked questions later. And then came April 2001, the Manchester Derby. Roy Keane's studs embedded in Alfie's right knee. The tackle that ended a career, not with a bang, but with a slow, agonizing fade. The anterior cruciate ligament does not tear elegantly, it shreds. The pop is audible to those standing close enough. Alfie Haaland's knee never recovered, not fully, not completely, not in the way that allowed him to chase his son around the garden without a limp. Young Erling watched. He absorbed the geometry of that moment, the angle of Keane's approach, the force required to produce that kind of damage, the quiet humiliation of a strong man learning to walk again. And he internalized a terrifying equation. Football can ask for everything. It can give you a career. And then, without warning, it can take your legs from under you. "He didn't tell me to be careful," Haaland would later recall. "He didn't need to. I could see it." The Haaland home was not a museum of trophies, it was a document of cost. Alfie's limp, barely noticeable to strangers, but devastatingly clear to his son, was the ghost that sat at the table every evening. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. The environment shaped him in ways no academy coach could replicate. Brian taught him that progress was measured in increments: one more rep, one more sprint, one more cold morning on the training ground. It also taught him that the body is not an ally, it is a temporary arrangement. At 15, Erling Haaland walked into senior football. 16 matches, 0 goals. The world didn't notice, but he did. He felt the cold, the synthetic pitch smelled of rubber and disappointment. At 16, Erling Haaland was already taller than most of his teammates, a gangly, uncoordinated colt who had not yet grown into his own limbs. His frame was a gift and a curse. The height gave him presence. The lack of coordination made him a target. 16 matches, not a single goal. The defenders in Norway's second division were not technicians. They were bricklayers, men who spent their weekdays laying asphalt or hauling fish crates, and their weekends breaking teenage strikers in half. They leaned into Haaland, shoved their shoulders into his ribs, whispered things about his father, and waited to see if he would break. He didn't break. But he didn't score either. In those scoreless months, Haaland made a radical shift. He stopped trying to outmuscle defenders, an impossible task for a 16-year-old against 28-year-old bricklayers. Instead, he studied the geometry. He began receiving the ball with his back to goal, then pivoting at the exact moment the defender committed his weight forward. A simple mechanical adjustment: rotate the hips, drop the shoulder, find the space between the defensive line and the goalkeeper. He stopped darting early. Instead, he waited. He let the defender think the move had passed. Then, in the half-second when the marker looked at the ball, he exploded. Not speed timing. Despite his height, Haaland learned to squat. He bent his knees just slightly more than instinct demanded, dropping his center of gravity by mere inches. The difference was seismic. Defenders could no longer push him off balance. He had become a man built on a hidden foundation. When the first goal finally came, it was ugly. A rebound, a deflection. The kind of goal that strikers pretend didn't happen. But he celebrated as if he had just won the Ballon d'Or, not because the moment was glorious, but because it proved he could survive the silence. Suddenly, the silence was over. Salzburg, Dortmund. The goals came in avalanches, and with them, the noise. Twitter threads dissecting every movement, TikTok edits set to aggressive electronic music, Instagram comments demanding more. Is Haaland overrated? One season wonder. Can he do it in the Premier League? The modern footballer does not simply face the opposition. He faces the endless scrolling tribunal of public opinion. Every touch is analyzed, every miss cataloged, every celebration judged. Haaland developed a defense mechanism: the public robot, the stoic face, the clipped answers, the refusal to engage. But inside, the pressure was eroding the foundation. I learned to block it out, he admitted, but blocking it out takes energy. And energy is the one thing I can't afford to waste. The transfer rumors swirled, the price tags grew absurd. And with every new contract, the weight of expectation climbed another rung. The boy from Bryn was no longer just a footballer. He was an asset, a commodity, a product that needed to perform or the market would move on. Pep Guardiola hates randomness. He hates the chaos of uncontrolled movement, the inefficiency of untethered instinct, the waste of raw athleticism without structure. And when Erling Haaland arrived in Manchester, he was exactly that: a magnificent, powerful, uncontrolled force of nature. The tactical conversation between Guardiola and Haaland lasted weeks. "You will not run freely," Guardiola told him. "You will run when we decide." In Dortmund, Haaland had been a havoc wreaker. He ran channels, drifted wide, chased lost causes, and relied on his sheer physical superiority to produce moments of brilliance. It was effective, but it was also exhausting and unsustainable. Guardiola's system demands positional discipline. The striker must stay in the half spaces, those invisible vertical corridors between the center back and the fullback. He must wait for the ball to arrive. He must trust the system to find him. Haaland had to unlearn his instinct to chase. He had to learn patience, a foreign concept for a player who had always relied on his explosiveness to rescue situations. The results were staggering. His touches in the box increased by 40%. His goal conversion rate soared. He wasn't scoring more goals, he was scoring easier goals. The passes found him because he had learned to be where the system needed him. By 2024, the world had a problem. How do you stop Erling Haaland? Defenders began studying him like a mathematical problem. The anti-Haaland systems emerged: the double-team trap, the offside trap, the physical obstructor. Haaland responded by evolving. He began dropping deeper, inviting the double team, then releasing the ball to advancing midfielders. He became a playmaker in disguise. He stopped seeking goals and started seeking advantage. "He's not a normal striker," Jurgen Klopp observed. "He's a strategic problem. He changes the shape of the entire match just by standing where he stands." The critic who dismissed him had been silenced. But a new critic emerged, one who said his numbers were padded, his goals too easy, his brilliance a product of Guardiola's system rather than his own genius. Haaland heard that, and he filed it away. The machine broke. Bone stress reaction. Left foot. The diagnosis was clinical, unemotional, a simple collection of words that meant he could not run, could not jump, could not play. Haaland had always known this moment would arrive. His father had taught him that the body demands payment, but knowing and experiencing are two different countries. For weeks, he lay on the table while teammates trained. He watched them through the glass, their footprints still visible on the dew-covered pitch, their laughter muffled by the soundproofing. The loneliness of injury is not physical, it is existential. Who am I without a ball? He asked himself that question 100 times. Who am I when I can't do the one thing that matters? The real fear was not about the foot, it was about relevance. Modern football operates at a relentless pace. Players are replaced. Narratives shift. The next young star is always waiting in the wings. He wasn't afraid of losing his spot. He was afraid of being forgotten. "I have to learn to listen to my body," he told a physiotherapist. "But my body doesn't talk. It just breaks." In the public eye, Haaland was invincible, a cyborg designed to destroy defenses. In the treatment room, he was just a young man in a tracksuit, watching his teammates celebrate victories he could not contribute to. He stopped answering phone calls. He avoided social media entirely. He spent evenings staring at the ceiling, calculating how many games he had left in his career, how many years his ligaments had in them, how many sprints he could afford before his father's fate became his own. "I realized," he said, "that I had been pretending to be immortal, and immortality is exhausting when you're actually human." The ball arcs into the box. Time stretches, contracts, then snaps. Haaland rises. He is not thinking about his foot. He is not thinking about his father, or the injury, or the pressure, or the weight of a nation on his shoulders. He is thinking about one thing: timing. He meets the ball. The header is clean, precise, inevitable. The net ripples. The stadium explodes. 10 minutes later, he strikes again. A low, driven shot from distance, the kind of finish that doesn't require power, only precision and nerve. Norway wins 2-1. Where does Erling Haaland fit in the Messi-Ronaldo vacuum? The answer is complicated. He is not the artist that Messi was, the dancer, the poet, the creator of beauty from chaos. He is not the relentless force that Ronaldo became, the physical symbol of human will overcoming all limits. Haaland is something else. He is the efficiency era personified. In a game increasingly dominated by data, expected goals, and tactical structure, Haaland is the ultimate expression of output. He scores because the system works. He scores because he has adapted to the system. He scores because he has sacrificed the beauty of chaos for the certainty of structure. And yet, the doubt persists. He hasn't won the Ballon d'Or. He hasn't done it at a World Cup final. He hasn't beaten a prime Italy defense. He hasn't scored a bicycle kick like Ronaldo. Haaland acknowledges the doubt. He doesn't fight it. He knows that legacy isn't built on trophies alone, but trophies matter. And at 25, he is running out of time to build the legacy he wants. "I don't care about being the best," he says. "I care about being the best version of myself. But even I don't know what that version looks like yet." The 2026 World Cup is his platform. Norway's run is his chance to rewrite the narrative. But the quarterfinal against England looms, and, with it, the ghosts of the past, the injuries of the present, and the weight of the future. The stadium is silent. The crowds have gone home. The cameras have turned off. The world believes Erling Haaland is asleep, dreaming of goals, tactics, and glory. He is awake. He sits on the edge of the bed, his boots next to him already cleaned, already prepared. His left foot throbs slightly, not an injury. Just a reminder, he thinks about his father, watching somewhere in the stands, his knee aching in the damp English cold. He thinks about the treatment room, the silence, the fear. He thinks about the 16s matches without a goal and the defenders who tried to break him. He thinks about the pressure, the expectations, the endless, hungry gaze of a world that wants him to be perfect. And then he remembers what he said a few days ago after the Brazil match. "I don't feel like a machine. I feel tired." He smiles, not a triumphant smile, a quiet one. The question, in the end, is not whether Erling Haaland will win the World Cup or the Ballon d'Or. The question is whether he can continue to carry the weight of his own legend without being crushed by it. He cannot play forever. His father taught him that, but he can play tonight and tomorrow. And the match after that. Greatness, Haaland has discovered, is not built beneath the floodlights. It is built in the quiet hours, when nobody is watching, when nothing is certain, and when the only thing left to do is put one foot in front of the other. He is not invincible. He never was. But he is still here, and that, perhaps, is the truest victory of all.